Hey everyone, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaborations, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Zach Kramer. He is a systems-driven innovator at Progressive Payment Solutions, where he streamlines operations and enhances the client experience. With a background in finance, marketing, and tech, he's helping businesses thrive while carrying forward a proud family legacy. How you doing today, Zach?
I'm doing well. It's quite a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. And I got on the first try. So as far as everybody's concerned, there's no way of proving otherwise. So
Perfect, perfect.
yeah, no. So I was excited to have you on. I really enjoyed our conversation that we had before. You're doing a lot of awesome things. You're helping a lot of people. So there's for sure a bunch of people out there that need to get to know you a little bit. But to start off, where are you located? Where are you calling in?
Yeah, so we are based out of Short Hills, New Jersey, which, for reference, is about 20 to 30 minutes outside of New York City.
Okay. Have you been there for a while, or are you newer to the area?
Yeah, so we've been here for over 20 years, actually. And me personally, I grew up in the area, so I've been here my whole life.
Okay.
Didn't go too far.
So you know your way around. If you have some friends coming into town that have never visited before, where are you going? What are you doing? And what's for dinner?
Those are great questions. So, first off, we're going to a town called Morristown. It's basically a miniature city, and we're going to a restaurant called Caniglio's, which, if you watch any of Dave Portnoy's One Bite reviews, it got a ridiculously high score. I don't remember the exact score, but it was very high. Great atmosphere, and everything is sourdough based. So, if you like bread, that's the place to be.
Okay, this sounds good. But so that's dinner under wraps. But what are you doing for fun? Where are you taking people just to kind of sightsee? You have something you particularly like to do?
So, me personally, I'm an outdoors guy. So, around here, despite what you may believe from TV, we have a lot of wildlife over here. So, we're going fishing.
Yeah, no, yeah. TV would lead you to believe it's all streets and that's it. So
Exactly. So, despite that, we have a lot of wildlife, hence the name, the Garden State. So, we're going fishing and we're going on a nice hike.
what can you tell us about what you do?
Sure. Great question. Some days I don't even know if I know. So, we are in the credit card processing business. So, we help businesses accept credit cards. And if they're already accepting credit cards, we help them cut down on their fees. This is a very interesting business where you really need to be in the business to understand how the fees work. So, I try to break it down as much as I truly can without you actually being in the industry.
Okay, how'd you get started doing this?
That's a great question. So, we're a family business. So, the company was founded by my father back in 2004. So, we've been around for just over 20 years. And believe it or not, this was not my first choice. I actually went to school for finance. I always wanted to be on Wall Street, and my original plan was to be a stockbroker, which unfortunately, that's a job that just doesn't really exist anymore. You're really either an analyst or a wealth manager. Stockbrokers have kind of fallen by the wayside. So I found that out pretty quickly with my first job on Wall Street with Morgan Stanley. And I said, you know what? This isn't for me. Now I don't know what I want to do. And my dad, he took me in and he said, you know what? Work for me, make some money, and you'll eventually figure it out. And here I am 8 years later. I just really enjoyed what we do, and I just haven't left.
Okay, well, what is it that you love most about what you're doing?
I like helping people. So, something that we really pride ourselves on is finding hidden savings. And then we try to give ideas on what businesses can do with those savings. So, let's say you're a business and we save you $1,000 a month. And, we take a pretty deep dive into the finances of a business because we're doing their credit cards. So, we say, you know what? I think you could help your business grow if you allocate those funds here. And these businesses, they like that because they're not spending any additional money. It's money that they were already spending on credit card fees that they're now utilizing to help their business grow. So that's what I enjoy doing.
Okay, what does your average client look like, or what are some of the pain points that they might be going through that if they're dealing with X, Y, or Z, you're the person they should be talking?
Sure. Another great question. So we typically service B2B and professional services. We do a lot of manufacturers, we do a lot of law firms, accounting firms, marketing agencies, businesses like that. And then we also have a niche in the medical field. We are very well versed in HIPAA compliance, and we make sure that all of our medical practices are up to that standard. We could also pretty much work with any business, but those are the niches that we specialize in. Really, the issues that businesses have are mostly software related these days. So let's say you're a law firm or a medical practice, you're most likely using a software to manage that. And typically with those softwares, you're locked in to their credit card processor and you're not really allowed to change. So what most people do is they'll bring us in, they'll process outside of that software, and that's really where the savings is going to come from. And the reason they want to do that is because when you're locked into a software, the software knows you're locked in. So their rates are astronomically high. So for a smaller practice especially, or a smaller business, it really makes a lot of sense to just bite the bullet, take the extra step that it takes to process outside of that software. And that's really what we focus on primarily.
Okay. What about power partners? What are other professionals or industries out there that you synergize really well with, you can collaborate with, or you can refer business back and forth with?
So that's going to be our accounting firms and outsourced CFOs. So we work with a lot of outsourced bookkeepers and fractional CFOs. They're really good partners for us. And also, we work very well with outsourced human resources because they're doing, the insurance and all that stuff. So we work well with them as well, like ADP and all those companies.
Okay. What advice would you give to a new or an aspiring entrepreneur?
That's a very good question. I would say the biggest thing, especially because we just started another new entity ourselves, is stop focusing on the minute details and just get out there and do business. Forget about the logo, forget about, oh, I need to dot my I's, cross my T's. That comes. Get out there and do business.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic advice, and people need to hear it from a lot of different people differently. I heard it the other day, and I mentioned this on a podcast I recorded just recently. You can't steer a parked car, right?
Exactly.
So you might be tempted to overanalyze and tweak things before you really get going, but get going and make the changes as you go, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm working on this new business with my dad, and he's a seasoned guy, but he's like, okay, we need all these legal documents, we need a logo, we need a website, and I'm like, dude, let's just go out and get business. Those other things will come.
Absolutely. Well, why you? What sets what you're doing apart from everybody else out there that might be doing
Sure.
something similar?
That's another great question. So with us, the biggest thing is, again, we're in a commoditized business. The rates are pretty standardized. There's not too much variation unless you're really stuck in some software, like I said. But other than price, our biggest thing is customer service. And my biggest thing is every single one of my clients has my cell phone number. I don't have 2 or 3 cell phones. This is it. If it's ringing, it's either going to be a client or it's going to be my mother. And either way, I'm answering. So that's what really sets us apart from anybody else. Because I'll tell you right now, you try to get one of these big companies on the phone, you have to explain 3 to 4 times what your issue is. You're going to get transferred. It's just a headache. So that's what really separates us.
Yeah, absolutely. Those big companies, a lot of time you'll call them like 3 or 4 different times, and you'll get 3 or 4 different answers. You're like, I don't know who's right. I have no idea.
Exactly.
I'm
And
worse off now.
that's a daily occurrence. And instead of my client dealing with that issue, I'm going to deal with that issue for the client.
Absolutely. I know when it comes to this, we can go down all the rabbit holes. You're a wealth of knowledge doing it for 8 years. You know a lot of the ins and outs, have a lot of stories. But in general, is there anything that I missed or failed to ask that you wanted to add?
Not particularly. My biggest thing for anyone watching this that's really looking for a new credit card processor, whether you're going to call me or not, is just really do your research. Because if you don't mind, I'd like to tell a very quick story.
Please.
A client of mine called me a few weeks ago and said, hey, I just got an offer from another company that says I'm going to save $1,000 a month on my account. And I'm thinking, that's not possible because we don't even make $1,000 a month on your account. And the rates are standardized in our business. I have the same access to the rates as some of the biggest processors in the world. The rate is the rate. So I'm like, okay, something's going on here. Let me see what's happening. I say, okay, send me the quote. Not only was the quote just a complete blatant lie on what the savings were, they were actually going to be charging him more. And this wasn't just any random company. I'm not going to name drop, but this was one of the largest credit card processing companies on the planet. They lied about the savings and they gave him a higher rate instead of a lower rate. So just do your research and be careful. You really, really need to make sure you know who you're getting into bed with. That's the end of the day.
For those out there that have more questions that would like help doing the research or just want to get in touch with you, what's the best way they do that? How can they find you? Where can they get a hold of you?
So the best way to get a hold of me personally is going to be to send me an email or hit me up on LinkedIn.
Perfect. I'm going to put that in the show notes so it's super easy to find. So we don't have to hunt for it, but absolutely reach out if you're wanting to have a conversation. Zach is the exact same in the one-to-one as he is here. Absolutely have that conversation. You'll be better off for it. Other than that, if somebody would like to get a hold of me, you can find me at ikag.me. You can find more episodes, subscribe to our newsletter, and connect with our growing community of awesome people like Zach. If you or somebody you know would like to be interviewed, you can also apply on the website. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's awesome having family businesses out there that are, competing with the big guys by doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so really appreciate everything you're doing. Let's all go have an awesome day and grow our circles. All right.
And thanks for having me on.
My pleasure.